I know that The Crown says at the start there's some kind of disclaimer, this is a dramatised version of events. But you have real characters, OK, that the world knows, some of the most famous people, if not the most famous people in the world, and some of it is a realistic portrayal of what happened, and some of it isn't. And it doesn't flash up between each scene going, this is the fake bit. And especially foreign viewers as well might not know the intricacies of it as we do. I hope they do Bashir right in this.
Well, it would be interesting if they do go into that, because it is, it is something that's so kind of disastrously changed the course of the royal family and changed the narrative around how we saw them. And it was from a journalist point of view, one hell of an interview. And, I would actually defend as a journalist the right of people even to, unethical methods are unethical methods. And then it's not something that you would promote, but press freedom is press freedom. And once you get the interview in the bag, you should be allowed to use it. And, I think the thing with The Crown is most people know that it's not word for word exactly what, they know that it isn't exactly what the Queen and her mother discussed over sherry when they were watching the telly in the first series. We're not stupid when we're watching it. But I think from I'm a Republican, from a Republican's point of view, but I'm a huge fan of the show because it's really, really good telly, and I love period drama, even at the best of times. But there's an interesting question as to, having this sort of insight into the royal family, fictional in places as it might be. I think Ingrid talked about we've owned Diana, and couldn't it just be your parents? These are people who are, undemocratically in power, and who have a lot of say in terms of politics now, particularly with King Charles and his loudmouth, as we know that he likes to sound off about certain issues. A little bit of scrutiny like this, I think, should be welcome.
Ella Whelan, thank you very much. Ingrid, I'll give the final word to you. Some people would say, yes, all right, look, it's very, very tragic what happened to Princess Diana. There's no diminishing that. It must have been awful for William. At the same time, he is a member of the royal family, and he gets a lot of the trappings of that. He's going to be king one day. There's a huge amount of money in the bank, and there's a lot of positives to being the future king of this country. Series on The Crown where his mum is depicted doing an interview that is already on public record. Is that the worst thing in the world?
Well, I mean, the sad thing is that people do believe everything they see in the crowd. Maybe, us in the know don't, but the majority of people, especially across the world, and lots of people have spoken to me and said, did that really happen? And the sad thing is that they do believe it, and they do think it's the absolute truth. And I think that's really part of the problem. And I think we should give William and Harry some leeway here. I really feel strongly about this. It's their mother, and I think we should, you talk about press freedom, but I think, press compassion is also very important.